See, that was an easy experiment, right? Let's do another one. Second experiment. This is performed by Russian scientist Vladimir Poponin. 1992. Vladimir Poponin took a glass tube. He'd removed all of the air from inside the tube, creating what we call a vacuum, implying that the tube is empty. But it's not empty. We know there is something in that tube, and you are now experts at what is in the tube, because what is in the tube are photons, little particles of light. Photons are in that tube. And the scientists measured them to see where the photons are. Are they sticking to the sides? Are they piled up on the bottom? Where are the photons? And here's what they found. The first part of this experiment. They found when they measured them that they were completely random. That the photons were everywhere, random. No surprise. Everything is good. Sorry. Okay, this is the first part of the experiment. Everybody is happy so far. Science is good so far. Now, look at what they did. They took some human DNA and they put human DNA into the photons. And they asked this question. This is a powerful question, my friends. They asked the question, what effect does human DNA have on the photons? But what they're really asking is, what effect does the stuff that your body is made of have on the stuff this world is made of? That is a powerful question. Does that make sense? Did that translate okay? They're asking, what effect does the stuff of the human body, what effect do we have on our physical world? In conventional science, there is nothing that allows for the effect. In conventional science, we were taught to believe that there is no effect. But that's not what these experiments show. Watch this. They put human DNA in with the photons, and the photons aligned themselves with the DNA. The photons were physically changed in their arrangement. The photons moved in the presence of the DNA. The stuff our world is made of changed in the presence of the stuff our bodies are made of. This is a powerful experiment. It's the first time it's been shown in the laboratory that your body is changing your world. Then they said, what happens if we take the DNA out? What happens to the photons? Well, what happened, they were not prepared for. Because when they took the photons out, when they took the DNA out, the photons acted like the DNA was still there. As if they were still connected. As if they were still connected. The question is why? There's nothing that explains this in traditional science. But in the new science, there is. This is called the DNA phantom effect. If you would like to Google this on your computer, you can research this for yourself. And all of these references are on my website, so you don't have to write the reference down. Experiment number 2. All that I'm showing is that DNA affects our physical world. The stuff that you're made of affects your physical world. One more quick experiment, and we're going to take a bathroom break. We started late. Okay. Experiment number 3. This is a paper released in 1993 by an organization called the Institute of Heart Math. HEARTMATH. Heart Math. We'll talk about them later today. But what they showed is this. HeartMath showed around every human heart there is a field of energy that we can measure. It looks like this. It's between 5 feet and 8 feet in diameter. How much in meters? How many meters is that? Do you know 5 to 8 approximately?
Divide by 3.
How much?
Divide by 3.
Divide by 3. So 2.5 to 8, 3, 2, 4, 2.5 to 3, 3.5 meters. Okay, 2.5 to 3.5 meters approximately around every human heart. This field is there. And I asked the scientists the question. I said, if this field is there around every human heart, and it's so powerful, why would that field stop at only 2 to 3 meters? And they said, that is the limitation of our equipment. They said, in nature, the field around the human heart extends many, many miles from where your heart actually exists. So there are approximately 1,000 people in this room. If you are within 2 to 3 meters of another person, and you are, there are 1,000 hearts, but one field. One heart field. And that field is so real that we will measure it and use it after lunch. We can actually measure the field and we'll use it after lunch. And as you change the way that you feel in your heart, you will see the field in this room change on the screen. So that's what we'll do this afternoon. Okay, so they know this field is here. The question that they asked was, what effect does our heart have on the DNA of our bodies? You all have seen DNA as a double helix. And what scientists have found is that some emotions will relax the helix. Some emotions will contract that helix, tighten it. When the DNA is relaxed, you are healthy. You have a strong immune system. Your DHEA levels are high. And when the DNA is tight, your immune system suffers. Your DHEA levels are low. So here's the experiment. They're asking the question, what happens if we change the way we feel in our hearts? What effect does it have on the DNA? And here's the experiment. What they found was in the presence of positive emotions, gratitude, appreciation, love, compassion, all the things that you would expect as positive emotions, look at the DNA. It relaxed in a positive, life-affirming way. In the presence of anger, jealousy, hate, rage, frustration, the DNA was tight like a little top. And all that the people did was have a feeling. They had a feeling and they changed the DNA in their body. This is the actual research report. Look at the words. It says, individuals trained in feelings of deep love and appreciation were able to intentionally change the shape of their DNA. And all they did was have a feeling, and by having the right feeling, the right belief in their heart, they changed the DNA in their body. They changed their immune system. They changed their hormone levels of DHEA. They changed their lives. The study goes on to say this. It says that human emotion produces effects which defy conventional laws of physics and their relationship to space and time. What does that mean? Very simply, it means that you and I can create a feeling in our bodies And when we have that feeling, we are no longer limited by the laws of physics as we know those laws today. Maybe some laws, but not those laws. We are no longer limited by the laws of biology as we know those laws today. And all we do is create a feeling in our bodies. That's all we do. That's how powerful you are. Okay, this is where I wanted to be before we take our bathroom break. Here is the bottom line to these discoveries. Number one, it says that emotion changes the DNA in our bodies. You saw that, right? Emotion changed the DNA. The DNA changes the matter of the world. The DNA changes the photons, the stuff our world is made of. If you take out the middle section, what we're now saying is that emotion changes matter. And you saw the experiments that prove that to your mind. When the heart has feelings of gratitude and appreciation, it changes the DNA, and the DNA is changing the stuff of our world. And when the heart is having anger, hate, jealousy, rage, it changes the DNA in another way, and it affects our world. These are the experiments that show us what the ancient traditions always said. And that is that you have a power inside of your body that affects the world beyond your body. Okay, I wanted to do the technical things early in the day, first thing in the morning. We're going to talk about this a little bit more after the break. Then we're going to go into the monasteries in Tibet and Egypt and look at the ancient texts. And we'll see how this internal technology is applied in the